Hello, everyday leaders. I am Melahni Ake, and I'm going to wait here for it to populate just a moment for our live broadcast today, as I have a special guest and we have some big news that we wanted to share. So, for those of you that are jumping on here, this is Melahni Ake with Everyday Leaders, and I am coming to you through several platforms. So, I am coming to you through the Everyday Leaders Facebook group, through the Everyday Leaders podcast page, the 50 and 50 podcast page, through my own personal Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So, if you're following on any of those platforms, thank you for joining us today. And I wanted to introduce a special friend and a special guest and let him tell you a little bit about what's happening as we're merging forces. And he's hosting something really cool. So,
Yeah.
David McGlennen, welcome to this little broadcast here.
Hey, thank you, Melanie. It's a pleasure to be here, and gosh, you're everywhere. All of the platforms you're on, I see you everywhere. It's awesome. I love it. I love it.
You know what they say, you have to get help to be able to, be able to spread your word and your platform. And
It's
so
right. That's
one
right.
button now can do it all, but it's
It's
really
amazing.
cool. Uh,
Yeah.
because sharing information, we used to, as creators and connectors, we would have to go to each platform and the time that it takes for your intentional audience and your
Yeah.
message. So, but I wanted to invite you on here for people that don't know what you're doing. You have formed this emerging leader for cultural development in
hmm
companies.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing what you've put together. And so today is your big day to announce some big news.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've been working really hard over the last year with some emerging leaders. I created a platform called the Emerging Leader Inner Circle, and essentially what it is it's leaders who are new to their position. They could be new to leadership. They could be just leaders who want to grow. And it's a platform where we come together twice a month virtually through Zoom. And so what we've done though is we've created a live event where we can all come together. And so not only will the Emerging Leader Inner Circle members be at this live event, but we're opening it up to the public, to other companies and other leadership teams who may want to be able to future-proof their own company and their own teams, because that's the beauty of what we've put together. We're seeing such amazing transformation and some amazing changes within cultures and within companies that are a part of this group. So we're so excited to announce this live event, and we've already had people registering. So it's really been cool.
That's awesome. And when you think about this, I think about Allison Little from Liddle, that is,
Yeah,
from our John Maxwell team, and she really put together a really unique group and conference, and said in 7 weeks, right, you can do anything. And she had put
absolutely.
together this conference. And so I think when you deliver value and you know exactly who your target audience is, and you want to be able to lift and lead them in a way that they may not have ever experienced before.
Right.
So, like you said, a lot of your interaction has either been with them at companies or on Zoom, and which you do, and it
hmm
provides such significant value to these organizations.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
how did you think about, going to the next level and putting this live event together?
Well, Melanie, you know that I'm a connector. I love connecting with people, and I love developing relationships. And so there's, the tools that we have today through Zoom are amazing to be able to create those connections. But there's really nothing like what I call the whites of the eyes, sitting across the table, sitting in the room and being in the room with the leaders that we've been working with for a year. And so it really was something that I had thought of earlier in the year, but really just took the plunge and decided to do it not that long ago. And so it's been kind of a hurry up offense in some respects, but it's been also a long time in the planning as well. But we're so excited because we have some amazing speakers who will be there. one of which I'm talking to you right now. I'm so excited that you're going to be there. So it's going to be so cool, because we're going to be able to, in this event, we're going to be talking about really gaining momentum for the end of the year and into 2020. There's really something to be said about really pushing towards the end of the year and not letting up on the gas pedal. So many people, so many leaders will just, I call it mailing it in, just coast. They'll take the foot off the gas and just let it coast for the holidays. Well, the leaders who are coming to this event are different. And what they're doing is they're preparing to get 2020 vision for 2020 and really pushing the gas pedal so that they can gain momentum, gain some insights on leading without authority, being an everyday leader, learning how to communicate like a leader. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers. So I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome. And the date is?
The date is December 12th. It's Thursday, December 12th in the Pittsburgh region. We are so excited to be able to have it here in the Pittsburgh area, because for those of you who haven't been to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh is an amazing place. I mean, the downtown is just absolutely phenomenal. We're actually going to be north of the city a little bit. But for those of you who are coming, I would love to be able to even take you downtown after the event and show you the city. It would be amazing. So, but December the 12th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It'll actually be in Cranberry Township, which is a little suburb just north of the city.
That's awesome. And so can you share with us the venue?
Yeah, absolutely. So the venue is the Cranberry Highlands Golf Club, and it's a great venue. We just recently secured it, and we are just really looking forward to having this place to be a really an intimate affair, and it's not going to be a huge event. So we've limited the seats, and we've done that intentionally because I don't want 500 people at an event. I mean, that's great. But what we're going to be able to do at this event is network with other business leaders. We're going to be able to have time talking with each other, networking, sharing, hearing speakers, and also doing some interaction. I said in another interview that if you want to just sit back and take notes and listen to speakers, this isn't the event for you, because we're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to actually do some interaction, and we're going to be able to get ready for being the leader that we need to be in 2020.
Well, it's amazing. Having a vision, it allows you to get clarity, right? And so when you say, I don't want 500, I want 100.
Yep.
I want intentionally 100 people to come and experience this.
Yeah.
And provide something at a higher level to say, if you are ready to invest, if you're ready to jump in, if you're ready to take that next step and really be serious about using these skills and these strategies for 2020, right?
Yeah.
Those are the business leaders that you're looking to attract in this. And I think, your own personal network, and plus inviting some of us that have been so close to you watching this unfold.
Yeah.
It is really exciting because of the energy that it's going to be in the room. So
for sure. Well, and I'll tell you, I already know some of the people who will be in the room, and you don't want to miss it, because they're business leaders that you want to interact with. There'll be some CEOs there. There will be some presidents of companies there. There will be emerging leaders there. You'll get to interact with the speakers. One of our speakers is actually coming from Canada. She'll be talking, Teresa Quinlan, she'll be talking about emotional intelligence. So if you've been on the LinkedIn platform, I am sure that you've heard her talking about emotional intelligence and how important that is for a leader to be able to be aware of their own emotional intelligence, not only where they're strong, but also where they need to, shore up and maybe grow a little bit. And so her talk is going to be amazing. Another one is Jeff Hancher. Jeff Hancher is a senior executive with Cintas, and he's going to be talking on leading without authority. So leading when you don't have that CEO title, how do you do it? He's going to give you some very practical steps. If you know anything about Jeff, and if you've ever listened to his podcast called The Champion Forum, He's very practical, very actionable. So those are just a couple of the folks that'll be there speaking, and just really thankful for people watching to hear about this event.
Well, it's pretty cool because you've never put on a live event before, have you?
Not like this. No,
Yeah.
I've done a video conference, the John Maxwell Live to Lead event, the simulcast. I've done that, but never a live event where we have live speakers, we have interaction, and it's all on me. So I'm excited.
Well, all on you, but you've got a lot of support. So, like
No
we
doubt about
learned,
it.
that nothing that we go into do we do alone. And so
Absolutely.
being
Yeah.
able to think through strategies, and that's what you're going to teach, right? When we know
Yeah.
that you can't lead someone where you haven't gone.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, and that's one of the things. So my talk is going to be on leading, getting momentum, and having that on your side as a leader, because as John Maxwell talks about, the law of the big mo, the law of momentum is a leader's best friend. And quite frankly, I've experienced this many times in my career, and I'm going to share, how to get momentum, how to lead from momentum, and really how to even contain momentum, because sometimes momentum can get away from us, and that can actually lead to burnout if we're not careful. So I'm going to talk about that in my section.
That's awesome. And all of these speakers have their own unique niche.
Yeah.
And so I love it because, a lot of people will say, "Oh, life coaches." Well, isn't that a real competitive space? And it's kind of like everybody has their own experience. It's kind of like, I heard the phrase, "Are you going to go watch another sunset?" Right?
Yeah.
On a movie, and they were
Yeah.
talking about it, and it was like, "Why would I just go watch one sunset?" When
Right.
everything's different. It's your perspective, and it's your mindset, and it's how you
No
come
doubt about
into
it.
it, and it's your relationships. And
Yeah.
so I would encourage people, if they have a team, if they have a small
Yeah.
office and they're
Yeah.
looking to improve their skills, if they're wanting to raise their game
Yeah.
and in 2020, and really say, how can we take it to the next level? And what's our vision?
Yeah. Right, I agree, and going back to your competition comment, when you look at the word competitive or competition, compete, it actually means to go together, and so as you go together, we're actually helping each other get better, and honestly, that's been the beauty of the Emerging Leader Inner Circle. So these leaders who have been a part of this for the last year have been traveling together. They've been learning about getting outside of their comfort zone. They've been learning, what does it take to get through the terror barrier once I'm outside of the comfort zone, and then on top of that, like, how do I actually orchestrate an effective and productive meeting? Those kinds of things are things that we talk about in the Emerging Leader Inner Circle, and they get coached on them, and so they've grown together. So together is better. That's all I got to
Together is
say, is
better.
together is better. So yeah, definitely bring a team. And have them come, and I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to talk about, or to talk to some of the current members, and some of the future members will be there as well.
Well, you have systems in place for your emerging leader group. Like you said, they've gone through this for a year.
Yeah.
And so people that haven't been through that experience, we did a little Facebook Live several months ago, and you were kicking off, your system. And
Yeah.
and so people have joined that, and then you do a recap every week into for the accountability.
Right.
And I think that's important, learning from people that have systems in place that, again, they can tell you exactly what's worked, what's been the struggle, what are the challenges, and how, if you were thinking about lifting your group, the things that you might try, the things you might
Yeah.
try first in your pathway to
Right.
success.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things I've learned is that when we build our leaders within the organization, no matter which level they're at, when we build our leaders, it actually does something with the culture. And so, talking about systems, I have a system where I help companies to be able to create a high performing, human centered culture. And when they do that, that's part of the process of future proofing their organization. And when I say future proofing our organizations, we have to realize that we are in such a different economy right now. We're in a different world than we were, in the 20th century. And so we have to be able to adapt. We have to be able to adapt our business model. We have to adapt our thinking, and we have to be able to do that adaptation really quickly. And so we need leaders who are good at change, who are willing to change and willing to grow and willing to adapt really quickly. And so that's one of the things that we do in the Emerging Leaders Inner Circle is we talk about those things, and we help them to be able to really step into growth because growth is uncomfortable. And I often talk about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and it's not fun. And I can tell you some of my coaching clients that have been part of the Emerging Leader Inner Circle talk about that, and they talk about being uncomfortable and thinking that, hey, this is not fun. But at the end of the day, I've seen so much growth. I've seen so much just excitement and a real change, especially in one of the client companies that's been a part of it. It's been amazing. So it's been really a cool process.
I love how you talk about just the culture. You really focus on, so many people say, I focus on this, or I focus on growth, or I focus on, you're a new beginner. You really think about culture. And so when you talk about the leader taking the lead,
Yeah.
and really saying, this is the vision, this is how I want to lead my group, and they're committed to it,
Yeah.
right? I think that's the biggest thing, is if you're designing a culture, you have to figure out what the path looks like, get the commitment to yourself and your team, and then all go through it together. So it's not like an order, right? It's not ordering down.
Right.
And it's not a positional leadership.
No.
It's so different. And so that if you've never been in that kind of an environment, but you want to create that, you can create that from where you are, and not necessarily having to be the CEO.
Right.
And so that's what you're going to teach. And I think that's what you're so good at conveying for people is, you can take charge and you can lead the ship and make a big impact in their organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when we think about leadership, our mentor, John Maxwell, talks about leadership being just influence. That's what it is. His phrase is influence leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And it really, being able to influence others takes the ability to be able to be disciplined and willing to go into that growth zone yourself. And so when we do that, then we can influence and we can lead the culture. We can lead the culture. We can lead our teams. We don't have to have a title.
So talk to me a little bit about what you've seen transformational wise as far as personalities. And maybe this is one for one of your other speakers. But, as you just to observe, right, people that have gone through this emerging leader inner circle,
Yeah.
and the fears or maybe the confidence that they
Yeah.
tend to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking of one individual in particular that I won't name, but this individual, when we first started, was really, really quiet and didn't talk a lot. And he is part of a company that I also went into their organization and spent some time with these emerging leaders one-on-one. And I started practicing something where for those of you who are in Toastmasters, there's an element in Toastmasters called table topics. It's probably been one of the most beneficial things for me as a speaker to be able to go through and learn, is just to be able to speak extemporaneously, to be able to jump up on your feet, speak for 1 minute, and then on any topic, and then sit down. Well, I started practicing this with this group, and just recently we had a round table where we were together, and this individual spoke up without me prompting, without me calling on him, and I was so proud because he's been going into that discomfort zone, and he's been learning how to do that and being more confident in himself, in what he has to say. And I think that that's just one example of a leader who is contributing to a team. And quite frankly, they had a record year. I mean, from a business perspective, they had their record sales, and it dropped right down to the EBITDA, and it's having an impact not only on the people but on the business, and it's just a great combination.
Mm-hmm. It does make a difference because if you show up with this mindset in your work environment, whether you're a distant, worker, so you can be off
Yeah.
site, but things
Right.
like this, the communication, the energy that you feel when you're on conference calls, even,
Yeah.
do you bring it? Do you pay attention? Are you engaged? And it
Yeah.
changes your whole attitude when you feel like you matter, right? And
Right.
that you can actually make some sort of a difference
Yeah.
in that culture, and that then that it does matter. And so many talk about these soft skills, right? The
Hmm.
soft skills that you bring into the work environment, and many corporations forget that that is the key. That's the key factor for being able
Yes.
to achieve culture.
Yeah.
And so if your organization is small, like I said, I think this is perfect for those groups
Absolutely.
that are, hey, we are trying to achieve something, but we are, we're all from different walks of life, or we
Hmm.
are different generations.
Right.
So, millennials and the baby boomers that are still working together.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity for them to learn how to communicate and build that culture
Yep.
that's really going to work for their workplace.
Yeah, and matter of fact, one of the speakers that I haven't even talked about yet is a millennial, and he's going to talk about the things that he learned in his leadership journey so far that he wished he would have known when he was younger. So his talk is I don't recall the exact title, but basically things I've learned that I wish my younger self knew, and he's going to for all generations. It's going to be a great talk. So. The intergenerational thing, that's nothing new. Trust me, it's nothing new. We're just in a new era, and the challenges that the millennials and the baby boomers have are just different. I mean, they're just different challenges than we had, back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. So it's still people, and like you said, the soft skills are the hardest things to master, and that's what we're all about.
And those are the easiest things, right, to do first, because
Sure.
all it is intention.
Yeah.
And we learn so much about that. But if you really believe that you can make your environment better, that you believe that what you see can happen with just a little bit of effort, with a
Yeah.
little bit of coaching, with a little bit of structure,
Yeah.
this I believe is this kind of a workshop that's going to provide those kind of skills and a pathway for next steps.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I really, what you've put together, your vision for this, I think is incredible. So I want to
Thank you.
congratulate you. I know
Thank
it's
you.
a lot of work, and
Yeah, it is, but it's so amazing. It's so rewarding. It's so neat to be able to start to see things coming together, and people rallying around, and registering, getting signed up. It's been fun. It's been really amazing.
it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, when I put this together, I put a very short demonstration and little description in here. So I'm
Yeah.
going to include after this, after we finish, how you can connect to David, because it's
Sure.
David at davidmcglennen.com, and that's
Yep.
two E's, no A's.
Yeah, that's right. McGlennen.
Yes, and you can see it across the screen.
Yeah,
But reach out to him because you have a registration link now, and
I do.
it's $129, right?
Right. Yeah, until November 15th. Because we've got an early bird going on right now. It will go up. And something else I've said too is that when we fill up, we're filling up. I'm not making any more space. So I want people to sign up now, because if you think that this is an event that would be just great for you and your team, just do it now. Like John Maxwell talks about, just do it now. Just take action. Be people of action. And I know the leaders that are listening to this and it's resonating with. That's the kind of people that they are.
That's right, and you can write it off of your taxes for
Absolutely,
2019, right? So
absolutely.
come and join us, because this is going to be an event you don't wanna miss at the end of 2019. This is gonna be pretty amazing, so
Yeah, for sure. And rumor has it that there's going to be a mobile podcast studio that's coming. I'm not sure, but I thought I heard that
I wonder
somewhere.
whose that is. I think you're right. So,
Uh,
yes, if people wanna come and see that for the first time,
I'm telling
the
you, I can't wait to see it. I can't
it's
wait to see it.
it's gonna be a lot of fun, and, the intention of that, so I'll do a little plug here, but the intention
Absolutely.
of that was to design the podcast studio so that we can take it to events like this and interview the people in charge, right? The ones that are making this happen, the influencers, the speakers, and give this a private session, if you will, for a VIP event. And so for that, I see my vision for this podcast studio as well as being able to take it out and doing high level training for leaders like
Sure.
what we're doing at this December 12th event. And
Yeah.
so it doesn't fit 100, but it will fit 10.
Yeah,
So
it's great. That's great. That's awesome.
but it's being creative and it's trying to reach out and connect to the communities that you really feel you can empower. And
Yeah.
so I think we're all trying to do that in a very creative way today with technology. It
Hmm.
allows us to step into something that we are not, we're not sure, we haven't gone down the path yet, but we're willing to step into it to take that risk and that challenge because we believe in our heart that there is something we can do and we're supposed to be impacting the world in that way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And it is it's translating the vision that you have in your head and actually taking some action, even if it's imperfect action, just taking the action, taking a step and making that a reality. And that's the key, really, I think, in leadership and in just our businesses and in life. To be able to create the kind of life that we want, we have to be able to translate what we see in our head into the real life and into the real world.
Well, to do that, we're encouraging you sign up for this
Yes.
Emerging Leader Inner Circle event, live event, December the 12th in the Pittsburgh area, and reach out to us. You can contact me at everydayleaders.com. You can
Yep.
contact David at davidmcglennon.com.
Yep.
And we want you to sign up. We want you to be those 100 people in that room when this happens.
Yeah, and we'll I'm sure on some of these platforms we'll drop a link in there to be able to go directly to the registration page. There is a landing page that has a short video with me on it. It's in process. It'll probably be done over the weekend. But in the meantime, we'll go and drop in a link that can take you right directly to the registration page. If you do have a team and it's a team of say let's say 5 or more, contact me directly because then I can take care of you personally. So I want to make sure that you get some special rates for teams.
That's awesome. David, thank you for everything that you're doing. You
Thank you.
are an
Thanks for
amazing leader.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate being able to have me on to all of your platforms and really to be able to chat today. Unfortunately, I don't see any of the comments, but I'm hoping that some of the people that have been on and either see us live or on the replay will definitely chime in on the comments, and we'll get a chance to see them
I
afterwards.
know I can't see them either, but here's what I want them to do is if they are watching this live to type the live in or type replay,
Yeah,
hashtag replay, so we can connect to you because there's so much information. And if you were able just to watch this through lunch and just caught a portion of it, we want to get you the information because this
yeah,
will really elevate your team. This is
yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
so intentionally thought out. David McGlennen, if you don't know how he acts, he will not do anything without proper planning.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That's right.
so this is gonna be one that you don't wanna miss,
Yeah.
but thank you so much, my friend, for being
Thank
so
you, my
here
friend.
today,
I
and
appreciate it.
best of luck. I cannot wait to see you on
Can't
December
wait to see you either. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be awesome. So
Awesome.
contact us and here we go. Emerging Leaders Inner Circle, December the 12th.
Awesome. Thanks, Melanie.
You're welcome.